2 days ago, I released a statement on my website stating that it's unlikely I'm going to create any more video content for the foreseeable future. And in all honesty, I think that's likely to extend further um, into the immediate to long term. I think personally for me, it's done. I'm going to read the statement out because what it is, I did the statement. I'm like, that's enough. But I'm not sure how many people visit my website. So how many people are really going to see it? And considering a lot of my content is in video form, I think it's just important and appropriate, really, that I put that content with that too. So people will actually see, you know, where they're likely to see it, really. So yeah, I just want to quickly go through it, really. That's all I'm going to do. It's not going to be a long winded conversation or anything like that. I've had signs in the past because a lot of my content, it goes spiritual, it goes personal trauma, it goes through personal growth, all sorts of things, really. For a long time, I've had signs that, fame is in my future. But the thing is, I've never cared about any of that crap. I don't care. Being in the spotlight, being all these things, it doesn't define me and it doesn't change my day. I don't need it, and it was always going to be the case. The longer I'm away from something, the more I'm just going to get comfortable away from it. That's just the way that is. I haven't had a significant period away, but at the moment, but in the past, I've had like a year off, and I'd only come back for a specific reason. I could have just spent the rest of my time away from it. So I'm not someone that's attached like I think people maybe presume you are. Me doing this video is just because I did the statement, and I'm not sure people are going to be aware of it. And I'd rather, it's where the most people will see it eventually. So here's my YouTube channel. We'll just quickly go. We've got nearly 600 videos, nearly. It's plenty. And I'm not going to show TikTok. TikTok for me now is a case of just sharing my physical media, random stuff. It's nothing really significant. It's not substantial. I may still do video content for gaming and things, but even then I know it's a waste of time, so I probably won't even bother. Even if I enjoy doing it, it's like, is it worth getting it all set up and ready? Just chill, mate. So anyway, you go on my website. You can see various videos. You can see the podcast. You can see the books. It's a lot. Even courses that, I it's necessarily promote, but it's more like I'm just spotlighting to help, raise awareness, really. Oh, yeah, just random stuff. But if you go to the top, what I did this post at the top of my website, and it was quite big. And then I thought, well, actually, it'd be better if we can minimize it, because I don't want it to be like the front and center of the website, because there's more to my content than just a statement. So I've done it here. So it's foldable. So if you click this little banner, it comes up with a notice. And then when you don't want to see it anymore, you can minimize it. So it doesn't ruin the experience on the website, which I thought was important. So I'm going to make it clear. I'm not currently interested in a lot of things, and this is just making it aware, really. I don't need people emailing me, messaging me, trying to say, oh, all of a sudden I'm interested. It's like, for me, periods go. And I always said that once I walk away, it's going to be hard to pull me back. Because once I'm done, I'm done. And I just close chapters quite quick. I'm very strong with boundaries. And once I go in one direction, my mind's already going there. So there's no point people are watching on the sidelines and then not doing anything. And then one day it's too late, life. So yeah, I'm not like a dancing pony or something. So anyway, so this is the notice. Currently not interested in creating any more video content for the foreseeable future. Collaborating, interviews, meetings, dating, creating social media content, or visiting the USA whilst Donald Trump is president, or there continue to be human rights violations. I am only interested in completing and publishing my current manuscripts as books and audiobooks, enjoying my peace in solitude, and focusing on spiritual growth and development. I don't have much interest beyond that at the moment. I spent a long time creating content with little reward or platform growth, and invested a lot of time during various periods supporting people, only to be let down or betrayed. So I'm taking time for myself instead of freely giving so much of myself to demanding people or content. Podcast episodes are already uploaded and scheduled to release weekly up to the end of 2025. Beyond that, there are no guarantees of which direction I choose to take. I could continue writing and release more books, even though I already have 3 due to release over the next 12 months. By then, I would have published 9 books, created hundreds of YouTube videos, thousands of TikTok videos, and numerous podcast episodes, enough to be considered a reasonable legacy. However, I could retire from putting myself in the public spotlight, be proud of my efforts, and enjoy other aspects of life. I guess it would depend on opportunities or lack of, and whether there's a desire to repeat similar accomplishments. If I were to hazard a guess at the moment, I will always have book concepts and manuscripts in progress occupying my mind, and perhaps a desire to speak on camera about pressing topics. But that doesn't mean I will, or that I would continue to work at the pace I have been for so long. I may ponder ideas longer and create for my pleasure. After all, the world doesn't have to see everything we do. Sometimes we can indulge ourselves, and that's okay. I'm beginning to lose interest in what the future holds. But in the present, I'm proud of myself, and now I have shared much of the journey so far. So tomorrow and every day after could be a blessing or a curse. Still, either way, nothing changes my accomplishments, because I took a period of life to pursue what I consider impossible and managed to achieve it. Dating-wise, I dream of a perfect connection like many others do, but I also lose interest in seeking or even trying to impress anyone, let alone adapting my life to fit something that may not last. I'm not trying to be negative, merely practical, and I haven't witnessed many examples of love lasting or situations coming to an end without resentment and chaos. I've had my experience of love and gained a wonderful daughter. I can tick it off as an experience gained, but whether I open my heart for romance would very much depend on my meeting someone rather remarkable. Unlike the Hunger Games, the odds are forever out of my favour. Fortunately, I'm used to struggles and I'm adaptable. So I think it's evident that whilst I take time to decide my next move in 2026 and beyond, with each passing day it's more likely that I'll drift away from content creation, focusing on indulging my interests rather than repeating previous cycles. After all things eventually come to an end. Mine just happens to be at the age of 42. So, whilst it would be a seeming waste of talent and potential companionship for the right person, it's also a significant legacy within a swift amount of time. And while frustrated in multiple areas of life, I'm immeasurably proud of myself, and that's enough for me. I think the statement sort of like says enough, to be totally honest. I mean, you could go around in circles and add to it, and there are probably things I could further state, but overall, I don't think it matters, in all honesty. There's been a period of life which I consider significant where I've given a lot with very little return. Like, life's been hard in the interim. It's been hard after. It was incredibly hard before, but there's been, in terms of like success and growth in my life, in terms of like things improving beyond accomplishment, hasn't. There's always struggle, and the opportunities just aren't there. And it's like, I'm not just going to keep bashing my head against the wall waiting for an opportunity. It's like I'm more than content to draw a line in the sand and just say that I gave it a good go. It's not about giving up. It's just saying I gave it a good go. I'm not going to waste my life doing the same thing repeatedly, which would then repeat the same frustrations. It's like, why would I put myself through that when I can take time out and say, look, that chapter closed, that chapter happened. There was a chapter of growth, healing, pushing myself as far as I could. There's a chapter of taking time out for me, relax, not put so much pressure on myself, indulge in the little things, It's just find ways just to exist in our own atmosphere, really. It's a period of life we have. And it's up to us what we do with it. You can live the same repeated patterns, or you can have different experiences throughout. I think the experiences are good. I think it helps gain wisdom, but also it just helps us flourish, I think. So yeah, you can just keep hammering the same thing over and over again, or you just say that I gave it a good go. So yeah, people might see my content in 10, 20 years time and then wonder where's the rest of it. And it's like, maybe they was ready to invest. Maybe they would have watched every bit of content. Maybe they would have read the books. Unfortunately, the people before them didn't. Like I said at the very beginning, I'm not a dancing pony, so I'm not here to do tricks. So yeah, if the people at the time didn't recognize or appreciate, or maybe didn't even know, so there's so much I can do. And I'm not here to waste my time. And that's professionally and personally, even like I said in relationship, the longer I'm single, I always said this. I always said this in general. Like, the more isolated I become, the more I will go in that direction. I'll get used to it, and I'll just be comfortable with that. And I've always said that about hyper independence. Even that hermit thing. I'm good on my own. I'm good in groups, but I'm also very good on my own. So the longer I'm on my own, the more I'll just get comfortable, and I'll just stay. That's the status quo now. So maybe I'll meet someone quite remarkable at some stage, and you think this could be someone I could build a life with. But there might be a point in my life where I just think, could have done. Nah, not interested now. That would have been a beautiful moment, but my life is going a different direction. That's the thing with life, isn't it? You could say it's self-defeating, but it's really, I don't see it that way. I see it as it's just like wrong place, wrong timing. It's just should have happened sooner. Not per se anyone's fault per se, but things should align quicker, in my opinion. And the same with career. I could have had opportunities. Let's say things were supposed to happen in America. It'd be nice if it happened before Trump became in office, then, wouldn't it? Established something before that, because there's no way I'm traveling there. You couldn't offer me the world. You could offer me billions, billions, and billions. I wouldn't even be interested. So I'm definitely not interested. When it comes to money, you couldn't, no amount of money could get me traveling to the USA while Donald Trump is in office. Uh, if, things go to plan for him, it's like another 3 years at least, 3.5 years, whatever. So that's just ridiculous. No one's getting any younger at this point. So anyway, I think my statement said enough. I don't really need to clarify further. This is just probably the last time people see me on camera, I would have thought.